In today's video, we're going to cover the best $1,200 gaming PC that you can build right now, of course, using all of these parts that we have here. And we went all AMD with a Radeon RX 6600 XT and a Ryzen 5 5600X. But before we get into all of the component choices and actually building and testing this PC, I want to let you guys know that one of you loyal subscribers is actually going to be able to win this PC in an upcoming giveaway. So definitely stay tuned until the end of the video so you can find out exactly how to get entered. But before we get into the build, let's actually cover the components that I chose to get the best performing PC while staying in line with that $1,200 budget. And we start things off with the AMD Radeon RX 6600 XT. This is the Power Color Fighter edition of the card, and it's the cheapest 6600 XT that I could find out there. So it's $499 right now on Amazon and Newegg. I was hoping to potentially get something like a 3060, but of course those are still pretty high at the moment. AMD cards have definitely come down the most in pricing recently to actually make them a decent buy at this point. So we're going with the RX 6600 XT, should perform amazingly at 1080p and hopefully 1440p as well. And in order to get the most performance out of our card, we're gonna pair it with a Ryzen 5 5600X. So 6 cores, 12 threads of Zen 3 CPU. They are coming out soon with the next generation of CPU from AMD, but that 5600X is going to pair perfectly with our 6600 XT and give us a whole ton of performance. And that thing is going to actually be going into our Asus TUF B550M motherboard. So I went with a micro ATX form factor, keep it a little bit more compact inside of our smaller case, which we'll get into later. But this B550M Plus has built-in Wi-Fi, a whole ton of I/O on the back, as well as onboard I/O for any of your case connectors as well. We have PCIe Gen 4 for our NVMe if you did want to upgrade down the line. But overall, this is going to be a great board to throw our 5600X in. And pairing that with 16 gigs of our T-Force Vulcan Z memory. So we got 16 gigs of 3200 megahertz CL16 RAM. Should keep our 5600X nice and happy when it comes to memory. And finally, we're going to throw in a Crucial P2 SSD. That thing is a 1 terabyte SSD. It is PCIe Gen 3, but still NVMe, so it'll be plenty fast with this system. Load your games up nice and quick while also having enough storage space to actually get a few games on there. And finally, all of that is going to be powered by our Corsair RM650X, so 650 watt power supply, plenty for the 6600 XT and the 5600X. But if you did want to upgrade down the line to something like a 3070 or a 3080 or a 6700 XT or 6800 XT, where you might need a little bit more power and a little bit more wattage, could step that up to a 750 watt power supply if you had a little bit extra budget, or whoever wins this PC might want to make that upgrade down the line as well. And all of those components are going to end up in our NZXT H510 Flow. The H500, the H510, a beautiful case. I had one as my first case in my first build, but the H510 Flow improves on that dramatically with an entire front airflow panel on this case. The more airflow we can get onto the 5600X and the 6600 XT, the better they're going to perform. So of course we don't want to starve any of the components for air, and the H510 Flow will give us plenty of airflow to keep our system nice and cool. So all in all, these components came out to right around $1,220. You guys can look at all the broken down prices right here. But overall, I am super happy with the type of components and the quality of components I was able to get for this build and one of you once we put this thing together. So let's jump into that part of this video and actually build a PC.
So there you go, the build is looking amazing, and now it's time to actually put it to the test. So first we threw on some Cinebench R23 and didn't see max temps over 80 degrees, which is awesome for our Wraith cooler. And then of course we hopped into some games to actually get some real world performance numbers, going through Elden Ring, Apex, and Valorant to kind of get a best of all three cases, with a easy to run game, a middle of the road game like Apex, and then a pretty tough game like Elden Ring. All max settings or high quality in all of those games running at 1440p, and we saw some really good numbers. And as you can tell by this gameplay, it's super smooth at 1440p, no issues there at all. And the numbers definitely don't lie on any of that. So taking a look at Valorant, we didn't hit above 81C on the CPU in any of the games, and we didn't get over 77C on the GPU. And we saw some really good FPS numbers. Valorant averaged 400 FPS, Apex 112, and Elden Ring the 59.5 FPS that the game is locked to. So we were seeing amazing numbers on this system.
So there we have it, guys. The PC looks great. It performs amazing. The only thing really left to do is for you guys to enter to win this PC in our giveaway. I really wanted to thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, watching all the videos. So this $1,200 build, it's an awesome build, and one of you guys is going to have the chance to win it and of course play on it in the future, which is awesome. So there will be a link down in the description to a Gleam giveaway. All the ways to enter will be specified on that site. So go to that site and get entered to win this PC. Before you do, drop a like on the video. If you have any questions or you're super excited about the giveaway, put that down in the comments below. If you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.